Welcome to Genian Sales Webinar. Hi, my name is Yeonju Lee, in Apex Sales Manager. Genians prepared the sales session for enhancing your sales skill when you meet your persuade your customer. The sales session consists of 6 sessions. Today, it is the 6th session of Genian NAC vs. other NAC. We will learn what is Genian NAC's comparativeness than other NAC. Before moving to the slide, I would like to check what we learned from this session. There are 3 messages that we need to pay attention. First, we will learn how Genian NAC and other NAC detect and control the devices. Second, we will learn what prejudice about the Genian NAC people have. Third, we will learn what is the comparativeness on Genian NAC than other. Okay, the first part is 3 types of authenticating the devices on NAC solution. There are 3 types of NAC solution most adopted in the market. The first, reduced-based NAC. This NAC adopted 802.1x protocol. I just call it 1x. With the 1x protocol, NAC solution enabled to authenticate the devices. Second, SNMP-based NAC. With the SNMP Polling, this NAC detect and control the devices. To get the device information, SNMP Polling is switched regularly. Third, ARP Enforcement NAC. Genian NAC adopted this technology. With the Genian network sensor, it detects and controls the devices in a real time. Okay, let's look at the first, each types of more detail. First type is reduced-based NAC. Reduced-based NAC use the 1x protocol for authenticating the devices. So I prepared one flow of how reduced-based NAC authenticated the devices. First, authenticator find one devices and ask these devices of identification. Who are you? This device responds its own identification with ID and password to the authenticator. This authenticator gets this information and asks if this information has been already put on the list to the authenticator server. We call this reduce. The reduce check if this information already registered one or new one. If device's ID and password has been registered one, this device is allowed to access the inside it. I prepared the same example around you for you can understand more easily. The VIP guest is invited to a party and he is asked to show the VIP card for verifying the VIP code by security guard. The guest shows his VIP card to the security guard, and the security guard checks if this code is valid on the list. The VIP code is a valid one. The VIP guest is allowed to enter the party. As you can see on the both cases, you can find the required things from them. First, both of them, devices and VIP guests, should have a valid ID and password or code. It means that there should be a factor which I can identify myself to others. However, what if the devices has no support the reduce feature? Even the authenticator asks this device of its identification, there is no response from the devices. What if your company has a mix of the regular employee and third-party staff? It means that there are multiple various devices appearing on the business environment. So you may be facing very hard to authenticate all of the types of devices for making your business working. Therefore, to solve this problem, under the 1x authentication, reduced based off the NAC, there should come with manual support by IT manager. It means that there is a very lower productivity on the business. Summarizingly, there is a pro and cons of a reduced based of the NAC. Pros: reduced based NAC guarantee the most secure authentication among the other types, because reduced based of the NAC only allowed the device inside after verifying its device ID and password. Cons the first, to make this way working, the environment must support the radius feature. If some switch or device do not support the radius, it is inevitable for these devices to configure the manual. Cons the second, 1x-based NAC only focused authentication. It does not scan and check its device vulnerability of the security posture before accessing the inside. Your business environment might be exposure to security threat after the device inside. Second type is SNMP Polling based NAC. SNMP stands for Simple Network Management Protocol. With the SNMP, IT manager enabled to monitor network equipment of a current status, and IT manager remotely modify the setting and configures of the equipment. Please take a look at the SNMP Polling adaptive NAC deployment. There are two zones of the layer 2 and layer 3. In the layer 2, there are many traffic transmitting in a real time. With the regularly SNMP Polling, the traffic on the layer 2 is transmitting to the layer 3, which the controller is located. However, some of the traffic has a possibility of the delayed or dropping. If failed to detect the devices in a real time, plus you cannot secure the inside without the full visibility. Summarizingly, there is a pros and cons of an SNMP Polling based NAC. Pros the first. Once the controller is deployed on the layer 3, it can function both the detection and control of the device. Pros the second. SNMP Polling NAC can scan and identify the device security posture check if some mandatory softwares are installed in and running. SNMP Polling NAC is more secure way than the reduced based of the NAC, because it authenticates and checks the device posture before accessing the device inside it. Let's move to the cons. Before deployment of the SNMP Polling the NAC, IT manager should make the deployment plan to check how many and various versions of switches are there. If some switches do not support the auto-configure with this NAC, they should come with the manual configuration. Cons the second, SNMP Polling based NAC should make HA, high availability deployment, mandatory. Because once a single point of a failure in the central server, there is no working of authentication. It means that the controller in an SNMP Polling based NAC does not work. So HA deployment is required. Third type is ARP Enforcement-based NAC. Genian NAC adopt ARP Enforcement-based NAC. To deploy Genian network sensor, IT manager just simply allocated IP to the network sensor, and there was no configuration with the existing infrastructure. And the network sensor start to detect device in a real time. Please take a look at the Genian NAC deployment. There are also two zones of the layer 2 and layer 3. In the layer 2, there are many traffic transmitted in real time. With the Genian network sensor, the traffic on the layer 2 is transmitting to the Genian network sensor directly in real time, so there is no worry of dropping the traffic. I believe that the Genian NAC is the best way to see your network inside thoroughly. And you can make the plan how to secure your business environment by the policy setting. Summarizingly, there is also pros and cons of ARP enforcement-based NAC. Pros, the first, there is no configuration between the Genian network sensor and other switch or controller. Pros, the second, Genian NAC can scan and identify the device security posture check if some mandatory software is installed and running. Genian NAC is more secure way than radius-based NAC because it's authentication and device posture check before accessing the device inside it. Let's move to the cons. The cons, the first, you may find it by Google it that ARP enforcement-based NAC should deploy an appliance on every single point of a switch. So there might be many hardware comes with the solution. However, Genian NAC, with the trunk port setting, one appliance can cover multiple number of switch or enable to deploy the appliance by VM, virtual machine. Okay, second part is prejudice about the Genian NAC. I prepared 3 prejudices about the Genian NAC most frequently asked to us. First, additional hardware deployment. Many partner and customer has been asking that, why do I need to additionally put hardware as the secondary? Second prejudice, high price. We also get this question a lot. Can I save my budget if I don't buy the Genian network sensor? Third prejudice, not well-known brand yet. So some company or customer are worried of the Genian's reputation before adopting it. How highly is Genian NAC recognized on the global? Okay, let's look at each one by one more detail. First prejudice is additional hardware deployment. Once the customer first see the Genian NAC deployment, they overlook how important of the Genian network sensor. As you have already watched the several webinar session before, Genian network sensor has a key role of a NAC solution. Therefore, deployment of a network sensor is very essential. However, some customer can have other option for Genian network sensor. Customer can adopt network sensor manufactured by Genians one or trunk port or VM. First one, with the trunk port setting, customer does not need to deploy network sensor each switch. Instead, one network sensor can cover the number of switch. Second, Genian network sensor can be deployed on VM, virtual machine as well. Second prejudice about the high price. The customer easily has a prejudice that Genian NAC might be expensive due to the deployment of the several hardware requirement. However, we needed to check how much is the final price for NAC solution. If you have any experience to get quotation from other NAC vendor, please do not make the mistake your initial price that you need to get is not your final price. The actual price is made of initial hardware and software and yearly maintenance plus adding the module license fee, the integration, plus the satisfaction that you are in safe. It is the actual price that you should pay. I just visualized to compare the price between the Genian NAC and other well-known vendor NA solution. On the face of it, Genian NAC might be expensive due to the network sensor deployment. However, with our experience on the sales so far, Genian NAC more reasonable and cheaper than other well-known vendors NA solution. Last prejudice is about the Genian NAC, not well-known brand in global. I don't want to say that, no, we are famous NAC solution. However, I just want to say that we had just started NAC business in global. Since the 2006, we have been running to get accumulated technical and sales experience in sales in Korea. And finally, we have achieved the #1 NAC solution vendor in Korea market. So as you can see on the graph, Genian NAC covered over 60% in NAC market in Korea, plus in the fields of the government area in Korea, Genian NAC solution almost conquered. Plus, Genian NAC has been already put on the list both the Gartner and Frost & Sullivan as well. With this experience, we definitely solve this prejudice shortly that you are worried in sales. The last part is Genians comparativeness. You may heard a lot Genian NAC is a very easy and simple deployment. Today, to make you understand easily, I visualize to compare the speed of the deployment among the 3 types of the NAC. The players are 1X, SNMP, and Genian NAC. They are going to start to race, so okay, ready to start. One X based of the NAC may stop on the race to configure the some device manually. And also, SNMP Polling also stop on the race. Some of the switch should be configured manually, and then it can start again. Only Genian NAC is not affected by existing infrastructure. Genian NAC is the fast and simple deployment. Second, high usage with secure business environment. The reason why you are willing to pay a high price of energy solution is that to secure your business, right? It means that solution should be operating actively. Please take a look at the diagram. There is the Genius network sensor and firewall in your company environment. With the Genian NAC, it only allowed to devices both the secure and the safe one. So IT manager can monitor and secure east-west traffic against the malware infection from the inside. With the firewall, doubtful IP information by the firewall, Genian NAC can find whose device of this IP and block these devices inside it. So, IT manager prevent north-west traffic against the malicious traffic. Finally, the business environment are fully secure by this solution. Reasonable price. I have already mentioned of the prices item on the quotations. In case of the Genian NAC, you can just select professional or enterprise, the product type, and fix the number of the license and deploy the network sensor, either hardware or VM, virtual machine. There are only the item on the Genian NAC on quotation. However, in case of the other competitor, select the product type, it is the same, and fix the number of the license, deploy the network controller, either hardware or VM. So far, you find that there is not much difference from the Genian NAC, but however, if you wanted to integration, it can be charged to the customer. They are the item on one of our competitor quotation. As the previous slide of 16, please check your price list thoroughly how much you needed to pay it, not just evaluating the number of hardware. This is the end of today's webinar session 6, and it is also last session of this webinar season 1.